Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hallmark Guy Podcast. I am Baptiste, the Hallmark Guy, and I am back with a new recap and review of 2025 Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas movie, She's Making a List, which premiered on Saturday, December 6th, 2025 at 8/7 Central on Hallmark Channel and starred Hallmark royalty Lacey Chabert and Andrew Walker, reuniting for the first time since 2018 with My Secret Valentine. Um, it like I said, it is Hallmark royalty. The two faces probably of the channel and the ones with the most Hallmark acting credits to their names. Um, when the movie was announced in the summer, I was like, you can do bigger than this. Last year, when Lacey got the Christmas Quest with Christopher Polaha, I said this is Hallmark royalty, but that is Hallmark royalty. You cannot do bigger than this, in my opinion. Like they're being at the Hallmark Christmas Experience last weekend, they were both there, and even last year I was at the events the week that they were there. You can see that at the end of the panel, they rush towards all the stars, but there's a huge group rushing towards Lacey and Andrew. I Yeah, it. I don't think you can do bigger than this. To me, it was. They had other movies that were events that the Christmas at the Grand Ole Opry was the event for them this year. The Bills movie was also huge, but star power wise, this was the the biggest movie. And Andrew talked at the panel on how we make movies about reuniting with Lacey. He talked about what was different since 2018. And I have a video of that on Instagram. You can go check it out. But he said it's just our lives have been different in the past. Let me do some math. 7 years. They both have 9-year olds now, and things have happened in their lives. But it's always great to work with her. Go watch that video. So yeah, I was really, really excited about um, this movie because I said this is royalty right here. So without now further ado, let's get into the movie. So the naughty or nice list has been the job of elves who had to cover the entire world to make it. Um, and as you get older, it becomes a myth that parents used to tell their kids to have them behave around Christmas. Well, that's what people think, but it is actually a real list, and Isabel, or Inspector 036, helps create it. Should I say the 036 or the 036? I think they say 036 in the movie. Uh, that's the only time I'm going to say that anyway. I'm just going to say Isabel the whole time. So she is a naughty or nice inspector. She is sent in disguise to inspect when they can't figure out if a kid is naughty or nice. She never applied for the job, but the job found her. One day someone told her, job interview for us. As she leaves the scene she was inspecting, dressed as a parking agent, she bumps into Jason and he wants to complain about double parking on the next block. Her office, the Naughty or Nice group headquarters, is not in the North Pole, but downtown in a big city. The North Pole actually uses that company to make the Naughty or Nice list now. And the audits team keeps making her review cases, even though no case has ever been changed. Giuseppe, another agent, points out that she's having a stressful season because she's always frowning. She works all the time and doesn't like to take breaks for the holidays. She works the holidays so the other ones can enjoy it. So others can enjoy it. Rudolph, her boss, asks to see her because she spends too much time on the road. The building she accidentally gave away her parking spot 2 months ago and was only reported that morning when she parked in it. Rudolph reminds her why he started the company. When he was 4, he ended up on the naughty list and spent years trying to clear his name and prove to Santa that he got it wrong. He likes her work ethic, and she's being considered to make partner along with Giuseppe. As she leaves Rudolph's office, she gets a notification that a new child needs reconsideration. Charlie Duncan, 11 years old, from Connecticut. So she goes there and she has 72 hours to make the call, but she tells us it always takes less. Charlie's in the park and doing magic tricks by making money kids give her disappear, and we think she keeps it for herself. She then steals food from tables outside a restaurant and gives the food to a local dog that should not be fed. There is a sign that says, "Do not feed me." So Isabel is confused. While spying on Charlie, Jason, Charlie's dad, sees Isabel right when she tells us, "You are not allowed to make contact with a family member," which she says, "I never had. Never have." He remembers her, but he does not say from where. And she says, "Oh, anyway, that's not me." He tells her she made a good, but he tells her she made a good impression on him. That's why he remembers her. Isabel was hiding in the bushes, looking at Charlie's house, dressed like someone who works in construction or something. So she does tell him she's just there to look at power boxes. But the thing is that Jason hasn't been able to get his Christmas lights to turn on, so he has been contacting the power company a lot, and he thinks they sent her. There is an unspoken lights competition in the neighborhood, and he needed his light to be bright, and the power box exploded. She tells Jason she doesn't have her tools, but he tells her, "I have tons of them." While she tries to work, Jason tries to remember where he saw her before. She takes a hammer and is ready to use it on the box, and Jason stops her last second. He opens the box and tells her that his late wife told him that this box was an accident waiting to happen. She tells him she has no idea what she's doing because she's just started and hasn't passed all the tests. She will send someone else to help him. He asks her out because she is stuck in his memory, but she says no because she's not from the area. Charlie hears them and interrupts them. After he asks her again, Isabel actually says yes, because there is a rule that says that you can make contact with a family member if you are spotted by them and they are part of your cover. And she's going to use this to figure out if Charlie is naughty or nice. She assures Heidi, her assistant, that she is professional and won't fall in love or be spotted by another agent. At the date, Jason tells Isabel that he used to be a very tough food critic, but then when his wife passed, he did not want to be the mean one anymore and went to work for every place he criticized to give them a second chance. They go get cider, but the cashier is an inspector, so Isabel runs away. Jason goes to see her and she tells him she smelled something burning, but it was actually just a candle scent. Jason gets a call from the babysitter and Charlie is sick, so Isabel drives him back. We start to understand that Charlie is lying and playing so that her dad does not date. We understand that because she already seemed annoyed when the first time he asked Isabel out. And now her stomach hurts, then her head, and she kind of fainted and tells her dad he did not come home fast enough. So she got worse. She has 105 fever, so Jason tells her they need to go to the hospital, and she immediately feels better. Isabel sees that she was on a heating pillow blanket thing and tells Jason not to panic because about the fever and just be there for her. Next day, Jason is we see that Jason is some kind of contractor working to remodel a place he trashed. And Isabel disguises herself as the window cleaning person to spy on Charlie, but they notice someone is looking at them, so she hides. Chloe feels like getting a Christmas tree is a chore. They see Isabel in the street just as she hides her window cleaning equipment. She tells them, "What a surprise!" But Charlie is on to her and it's like, "Is it?" And she invites her to go out to pick a tree with them. At the tree farm, Charlie tells Isabel that she knows what is going on. So Isabel panics, but what Charlie knows is just that Isabel likes her dad, but Isabel tells her that they are just friends. So Charlie asks if she always spies on her friends. Isabel tells her that she's not really spying, but just trying to get the full picture to get to know someone better to make sure that they're good. So Charlie tells her a lot of things that make her dad not so great, in her opinion, like chewing loudly and honking. So Isabel tells her she is not trying to take her dad away from her, but Charlie tells her she just wants her to get the full picture and wants her to know that he's noisy and get him has a nut allergy. While looking at trees, they are looking for an ugly one because no one picks them. And they talk about the fact that Isabel did not have a Christmas tree growing up, but used to leave wishes in trees. And then he saves her from a tree that is about to fall on her. Jason tells her that Charlie is comfortable with her, which does not happen a lot. Isabel tells him that they have an understanding, and he asks if she can let him in because most of the time he feels clueless. He says he lost her when he lost his wife. Isabel tells him to show her that she can count on him. Jason forces Charlie to take a picture with the fake Santa there, and she tells him she wants world peace and a white rabbit for magic, and the fake Santa does not know what to say. Back at her hotel, Isabel gets a notification that the Charlie case is due in an hour, but she has not made up her mind because she's naughty, but she thinks there is more to it with the death of her mom, so she files for an extension. Back at headquarters, Giuseppe is investigating rumor that he heard about Isabel filing for an extension and finds a way to get access to the case. A few days later, Isabel disguises herself as an ice cream truck lady and sees Charlie picking up someone's mail. Finding the key to that house under the mat and getting in, she decides to follow her in and hears a woman scream. So she runs towards Charlie and the lady was just excited about the magic trick Charlie did when she hid her $20 bill in her back pocket, meaning that Charlie was doing the same thing with the kids, actually giving them back their money just in their back pocket. The lady was Charlie's mom friends who does magic, and her mom asked her to perform at Charlie's birthday, but that party never happened. But the lady still showed up and taught her magic tricks. The lady now lives alone, and Charlie helps her out. Isabel drives Charlie home, and they have a heart to heart when she tells her she also lost her mom young and felt like no one believed in her. She tells her she has lied to her and she was assigned to her working for someone famous she knows. And she's working for a company that outsources the naughty or nice list for Santa. But Charlie thinks she's lying, just like for her other jobs. Isabel tells her that she knows she is good and just wants to make sure she does not get cold again for Christmas. But Charlie tells her she never has. Isabel is planning on telling Jason the truth. When they meet, he tells her he remembers where he knows her from and shows her a paper she dropped when they bumped into each other with the name of a child and the word naughty on it. He still thinks she's a parking attendant and she's about to tell him the truth, but gets a phone call from work. Her assistant tells her to come back because Rudolph knows everything. She leaves, but her earpiece falls from her jacket, and Jason finds it. He asks questions about who she is. Isabel meets with Rudolph. He tells her he received a video without telling from who, but says he trusts that person. It's Giuseppe. She crosses the line. He says she crossed the line and she's off the case. Charlie is naughty and she has to cease all contact with her and her dad. She tries to tell him that she has new information, proving that she's nice, but does not care and wants to tell her again why he started the company, but she does not want to hear it again. So he presents to her the Naughty or Nice 2.0 that will be done by algorithm and no inspector. That is why it is important she gets a promotion because her job won't be one in a few months. But she's against it. She thinks it's wrong. She admits she crossed the line, but she did it because Charlie needed her and she needed Charlie. Charlie is not naughty. She does acts of love and she knows that because she got to know her. And an algorithm would not be able to detect that. She won't promise that she will stay away from Charlie because she quits. Back at Jason's, they light up the house and it works. And Charlie and him talk. And she reminds him of the year before, she feared she would not get any presents because she was bad, but she still got presents from Santa. She tells him Santa's handwriting has changed and can't figure out why. So he tells her that maybe he had the elves write it. She asks if Isabel will come to the opening of the place he has been working at, and he tells her he does not think that they will see much of her anymore. She tells him that she knows she does not really work for the power company. Isabel was sure her work was her calling, but now she is wondering if she did not spend her whole life making things worse. She certainly did for Jason and Charlotte. Her now ex-assistant tells her that the whole office has been watching the tapes and that they have never seen her happier than when she's with Jason. And she asks her that now that the job is not a problem anymore, why she's still not going back to them. She tells her that it is too late and she destroyed the trust, but her assistant tells her that Charlie needs her and there are no rules. You have to follow for your heart. So she rushes to the restaurant opening. At the opening, Charlie goes to see her dad to tell him that a customer is complaining that the ice cubes are too thin. She then goes to see them, and it is Isabel. And Charlie tells him, "Do not mess this up." they realize that they've been parent trapped. Isabel wants to explain, but apparently Charlie took care of that. Sim tells her that after her mom died, Charlie was acting out, and it was a lot. And on Christmas morning, when he woke up, there was a lump of coal underneath the tree. He did not know what to do, so he repurposed the gifts and hoped she would never know that Santa thought she was naughty. She is a good kid. Isabel tells him that it is tough to grow up without a mom, and the company does not know and understand that. So Charlie is on the naughty list again. So that Charlie had her earpiece and planned all of this with Isabel's assistant. Isabel decides to take matter into her own hands and take things straight to the top. She plans to go see Santa, who he's not always at the North Pole. Turns out he's in Delaware, and they all decide to go. They get there, and turns out Santa's secretary is the guy who played Santa at the Christmas tree farm. Fake Santas then report the wishes to the real one. Santa knows Isabel and has been expecting her. He gives her a book of all the wishes she has left as a child that came true. And one wish appears that Charlie could believe in Santa again. She's emotional until he tells her to never stop believing. Isabel talks to Santa about the algorithm problem and tells him that the formula is the problem because the company has lost sight of the meaning. Santa calls Rudolph, who tells him he's busy with his year-end review, so he transports him into his office and he was actually playing golf. Santa talks to him about the flawed formula, to which Rudolph says it is not flawed and that Charlie should just be nice, and Cole builds character. Charlie tells him she knows he hates Cole. Rudolph asks Santa who he believes, and Santa is wondering who to believe. Like, I don't know anymore. Isabel tells Santa that the mistake was to assume that any child could be naughty in the first place. Adults know right from wrong, but for kids, it is not that simple, and they are just finding out their way through the world, and it can be a confusing place. They need guidance, not judgment, and by saying that they're naughty, they are not encouraged to be nice and become mean adults. Santa tells Rudolph it is time to go in a different direction and sends him back. They have outgrown the naughty list, and he asks Isabel for help to run the new operation. She says she should discuss it with Charlie and Jason, who are like, "You have to take it, like, no question." And Santa says, "Don't worry, Mrs. Claus is actually a big supporter of working remotely, which is why we're in Delaware, so it won't be a problem for her to stay with Jason and Charlie." From that day, no kid ever received coal, and they created the makeup list to bring overdue gifts to the grown up that never received them. Isabel is spending Christmas morning with Charlie and Jason, and Charlie got a white rabbit. It is Isabel's first Christmas off, so she has a list of all the things she wants to do. And Jason adds to the list kiss under the mistletoe. But she tells him they don't need mistletoe, and they kiss. And Isabel finally figured out the true meaning of the whole thing. And that was she's making a list. Like I said, was really, really excited about that movie. And from the Hallmark Christmas Experience weekend, we heard that it was going to be a funny movie. And I've wrote down some stuff that I thought were funny and really great. The first thing is the breaking of the fourth wall. Isabel, since the start of the movie, talks directly to the camera, explaining her role, explaining what's going on. And it is really fun and it is smart. It adds so much to the story, so much to the characters, so much to the whole production of her, like cluing us in, filling us in on the role and what was going on. So I really like that. And it always I think it adds something whenever a movie or a TV show does that, breaking the fourth wall. Um, right when she tells us like you cannot make contact with the family number, and lucky for me I never have, and like right behind her is Jason's like, what are you doing? And we're like, well, that's out the window now. So I think it added to the comedy. um when she's making her assistant tour like the her quarters and say this is the eyes of the world, and seeing like kind of like images from cameras of all the kids, and the assistant's like, well, so much for Elf on the Shelf. And Isabella is like, oh, don't be ridiculous, he's been a really effective partner for us. And that was fun because I also know Lacey is a big Elf on the Shelf person. I follow her on social media and she does that for her daughter, so it's like I can think of her speaking about her Elf on the Shelf when saying the line, which was a funny line. Um, Another thing, first funny thing is like the first time Rudolph like, did I ever tell you why I started this company? And she's like, yes. And he's like, I'm surprised. She's like, but not recently. So that was funny. What was really funny is that so when Jason sees her and hiding, and is like, "Oh, I was in the neighborhood I was looking at electrical boxes, and look at there, you have one." So that's a great sign. That's looking great. That was funny. And then they look at the power box, and it's just like it exploded, and just she's making like a face, and it's like, I was hoping it was not that noticeable. And it's like, oh, it's noticeable. And then when he asked her out, she's surprised and also don't know what to say. She's like, "Yeah, no, no." So that was all in the kind of same like 5 minutes. Then when she asks for an extension on the phone, they tell her, "Well, the extension package is being sent out to you. Section 45 do says do not fill out. Please fill it out." And then you have to send a 30 minutes video testimonial without showing emotion, asking, saying why you want an extension, and just the section 45 says do not fill out, please fill it out. I was like, that's such a paperwork thing life. And then there were other things, but then in the end, when she just quit and she's just sitting outside, but in her mind she's still like judging naughty or nice. And she's someone run out of a store with a lot of things in her hand, like being happy, thinking that it looked like she had stolen them. And then she looks at the sign and says, "Oh, you can carry for free." She's like, "Well, that was misleading." So lot of funny things. A few things I've noted. So the girl's name is Charlie Duncan, and I was like, the first time I saw that, I was like, they did not do that. I know it's two different companies, but Good Luck Charlie on Disney Channel was Charlie Duncan. And I was like, this is at some point this can cross audiences. And I was so like Charlie Duncan, and I was like, Charlie Duncan is Good Luck Charlie. I was like, I don't know if I was like, oh, I'm not sure that people knew about the series or anything. It was like, as a Good Luck Charlie fan, I was like, oh, this is weird. And another thing I noted, um, when they go on the date and she's like, I cannot be recognized, and she just wear a pair of glasses. It's like, that's the disguise. That's as good as Hannah Montana. No, Hannah Montana might have been a little bit better, just a little bit, but the glasses, like, that's not going to do it. Um, like I said, I was really excited. How can you not be excited about a Lacey Chabert movie or an Andrew Walker movie, just in general? When you put them together, through the roof excitement. Um, and I like the idea of her being a naughty or nice list inspector. To me, it meant that Santa was real. And in the past few years, we haven't gone in a lot of movies in which Santa is real. And I just love those movies because it adds magic um, to the magic of Christmas. And I like the idea of, yeah, a world where Santa is real. So I was excited about that, looking forward to that. A few things. So I rated it a 4 out of 5. The story was great, the execution was great, the pairing was royalty, the premise was great. Everything landed great. My only, I don't want to say issue. The only thing that bothered me was, and maybe because I know when they shot it, I know they shot it in July, and I know that they were super hot because they posted videos about it. But you can clearly see outside that it is not December. The bright light from the sun is just too bright. And then they show us like packaged them, like, aerial views, like street shots, and like that they can get like in a bank, image bank. And you see that the image is like grayer, a little bit like colder winter. And it's like, and then you're in a scene in the street and it's like bright daylight. And it's like, yeah, if I had known that it was shot in July and gone in behind the scenes, would I've noticed? I don't know the things that I knew, and so the whole movie it bothered me and kind of made me not get fully into it, even though I wanted to get into it because Andrew and Lacey once again, and because the story was great. But that was this little thing that bothered me the whole time. And I said in my review on Letterboxd, you fix that, even though you put a filter on it, even though they did that in a Lacey Sugar movie. And it wasn't very good. I don't remember the title of the movie, so I'm looking it up. Um, it is, of course, the one I'm looking for is not the one I'm finding. She plays a reporter in it, um, who gets like a new life as a mom. Family for Christmas. I feel like in this movie they put a filter on the screen or something, and but I feel like they do it in other movies because they have to. And I feel like something, if you can fix that brightness problem and that you can clearly see that it's July, and maybe it's just again because I knew about it and because I have that eye of always looking at the things of how it's produced and everything. Maybe a person that just watches a movie like that wouldn't notice, but I did. And so if for me you fix that problem, you get a 4.5 or a 5. But I will say though, when they get to Delaware, they get a Santa Claus. It is really magical. The house, and I felt better right away. Not that I felt bad, but I wasn't bothered anymore right away. I was like, oh, this is fully Christmas. But again, it was a great idea, great premise, great script, great execution, and just amazing pairing. Royalty, I'll take 14 more of those. Andrew and Lacey. Um, yeah. Uh, Congratulations to them. Happy for them. I want more of them together. I want more of them on the channel. I'll take an Andrew and Lacey movie anytime. And we get one Lacey movie very soon in January. They just announced the January movies. I'll do Instagram something about it. And maybe I'll do previews on YouTube. So look forward to that. But that is it for She's Making a List. We have, so I'm 3 movies behind, and we still have 4 more to preview to premiere. So we're at 7 movies for me left. And if you're caught up on your Hallmark movies, we're at 4. Just insane. But again, yes, I've said it again. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Royalty, 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 royalty. You can't get wrong with that. They knock it out of the park every time with their acting. So when they're together, it's just fireworks. But that is it for She's Making a List. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, tell me what you thought in the comments, and follow me on Instagram at the Hallmark Guy Podcast. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.